Nice to have you with us on this edition of Racing to Win. We've got a big 10 race card coming up at Sha Tin. I'm Brett Davis alongside of Tom Wood and Paul Lally, and between the three of us, one Australian versus two New Zealanders, we're going to try and dissect this 10 race card, with the feature of course being the Bohemia Sprint Trophy Group 3 over the 1,000. Tom, only a small field of 6.
Yes, and Victory's going around. He has to go around and lump the 133 pounds compared to the rest of the field, the other 5 who are on 113 pounds. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the race. Victory somewhat has to redeem himself off where he's come from so far this season. Yeah,
I think it's fair to say, Paul, he hasn't come back the same horse he was last season, Victory, but perhaps he's getting closer and closer. We've got a few races on the all-weather as well, and he did trial well on that surface.
Yeah, he did, Brett. He trialled really nicely, so maybe he's back to some of his best. They're putting blinkers on as well, trying to sharpen him up, so it'll be interesting to see how he does go. He does have to give a lot of weight, though, to a horse like Styling City. But the last race is the interesting one for me, because 8 of the runners of the 14 are looking at Derby prospects.
Yeah, well, it's getting that time of the year, isn't it, with the Classic Mile coming up at the end of the month, and then the Cup, and then obviously the Derby in March. Some may go to the Classic Mile, some may bypass that, just go to the Cup and then obviously to the Derby. We'll have to wait and see, but there's a lot hinging on that race, as you said. So let's get straight into it now. Strap in, let's have a look at all the information for the Big 10 race card, or saddle in, probably the more preferable option. We've got one scratching, race 2, number 4. Hong Kong Folks is out and replaced by Enjoyable Success. Joe Moreira will retain that ride. There's 4 races on the all-weather. The rail in the C+3 position for the 6 on the turf, and it's meeting 35 of the season. We kick off on the dirt, Class 5 company, the first 2 races. Got Money Marshall dropping in grade. He's into this class for the first time. Last start, 3rd placing for Massive Move with Matthew Poon to ride. Lucky Coin is now with the stable of Manfred Mann. Ruminaire ran well last start, went 3rd. Down the bottom to also Sunny Orient and Happy Out There, who are both finding themselves in new stables. So we've got a field of 12 to start. Horses that have been to Chun Fa in recent times. Keep Going came back on the 4th of January, and Jimson the Famous has been in good form of late. He came back just before Christmas. Fair bit of pace, you would think, Tom, in this first race of the day?
I think it should be fairly genuine. Happy Sound should spare forward. Ruminaire from his wide stall should be able to come across and sit up on his outside. Horses that should get a good run, the likes of Money Marshall, he normally begins well, so he should be able to hold that trailing position. Poor old Happy Out There is going to be caught out 3 wide potentially. On the train with Raichu and Sunny Orient.
Massive Move, we can see here in the morning, does it nicely enough here. He's last start, when he ran a nice 3rd down the straight 1,000. He's back on the all-weather, but has run well on the passes. He's a 2-time winner, and he does work well on it. As you can see, Rochford just beat all but Star Superior last start. He's a horse in form. Joe Moreira will retain the mount. Another one that's going nice enough here in the mornings. You can see under a really nice hold. Nice and relaxed horse, actually. And the last one you just mentioned, Brett, Jimson the Famous, Karis Eaton aboard. Again, just some slow sectionals for him, but another one that's in pretty good form. He's down to a low rating now. He's down to a rating of 21. Don't worry about 2 Kiwis versus 1 Aussie. We're just posh. Kiwis are just posh Aussies anyway.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I wondered what that was all about. Let's start off. We are talking Class 5 here, guys, as we know, so we'll get through the first 2 Class 5s. With some reservations, no doubt, in the selections because they are quite inconsistent. Here, Massive Move ran a nice 3rd. We know Happy Sound is a horse that has been in sort of reasonable form this season, and he's come up with gate number 1.
Massive Move, he used to have some speed back in his day, but his slow starts have been really costing him recently, Massive Move, so I'm not really sure what to make of him going this time round. A few others coming through that race as well, the likes of and behind Manful Star. Happy Out There, he's showing nothing, so I think a bit of caution to take in this first race.
Yeah, I tend to agree. We'll move on to maybe something that might be a little bit stronger with regards to form reference. Rochford. Joe Moreira obviously had a 5-timer on New Year's Day. He will ride Rochford again for Peter Ho, and on the basis of this performance, he's got to be some chance.
Yeah, I got him on top. He's still a maiden from his 17 starts, but just found a bit of form recently. And prior to this all-weather run, he'd run 3 times on the turf. I think he's better on the all-weather, so I'm going to side with him. And I've got Jimson the Famous in there as well.
Yeah, his last couple of efforts have been good, haven't they?
Yeah, they have been. He doesn't win out of turn, though, does Jimson the Famous, but he's racing well enough, so I think he's got to give it a chance.
Ruminaire's a horse that's had a lot of soundness issues in his career. You can see on this occasion, Happy Sound led them, and then was overhauled. I actually snuck in Ruminaire. Richard Gibson hasn't had him, has had him for quite some time now, since February last year. But we know he's a hit-miss conveyance.
Yeah, definitely. He's he's still a maiden as well from his 15 starts. Look, I haven't put him in. I just wonder if he's better on the turf, Ruminaire. I did find a spot for Happy Sound, but he's a similar boat. He's you don't know what you're going to get. When he's good, and when he's bad, he's bad.
Yeah. Ruminaire had actually put in a couple of OK trials before he went to that last start effort back on the 29th. He sort of boxed away once he hit the front. He was run down late.
Well, I think that's in his advantage. He'll find the front potentially and be in the first half, and he'll be one they have to get over. Money Marshall gets the drop in grade, and Lucky Coin now with Manfred Mann, Blinker's first time.
Lucky Coin's been poor recently, but this was a better trial from him. And Money Marshall, formerly with Michael Friedman, he's arrived at a Class 5 for the first time, and he actually didn't go too badly in this trial, I thought, down the outside.
Yeah, you can see him quietly down the back there. It's worth noting he actually won a trial on the dirt, from memory, quite strongly towards the back end of last season. So, claiming rider on, maybe they'll try and push forward with him. It's not an easy race to dissect, though.
Yeah, and they've made one gear change as well. The tongue tie comes off this time with him.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with Rochford, though. I've got him on top. Joe Moreira keeps the mount, and the horse is going nicely, and I thought it was a good second last time. Using that race as the main form race with Jimson the Famous, should run a nice race once again. Scarborough Fair, now he's a horse, he's still a 21-run maiden. He's had 3 seconds, this horse as well, but he's only had limited starts on the all-weather, only the 2, and he has been placed on one of them. And Happy Sound, you don't know what you're going to get, but if he turns up, then he runs well. 7, 12, 9 and 5. We'll go exotics in the Class 5.
Yeah, I think Dennis Ship could have quite a good day on the programme, and he could start it off with a winner number 12, Jimson the Famous. It's been a wee while since he's won, and he was pushed throughout that race last time out, but he still made some good enough ground late in the piece, Jimson the Famous. Over 7, Rochford, 3, massive move goes in, and Ruminaire on the backup from the 29th. I've got him in as well. 12, 7, 3 and 8.
Yeah, I'm suggesting Rochford's probably the hardest to beat too, but he will be a short quote. I think Money Marshall could be the value if there is to be a surprise in that race.